Welcome to the Tall Girl Tuesday podcast. It's your girl Danny, and this week's topic is about comparison being the thief of joy. And I wanted to talk about that because I feel like it's relevant. I feel like my point of view needs to be heard. Whether or not people agree is, not my issue or, not my concern, but it is something that I wanted to talk about and speak about from my point of view. And comparison truly is the thief of joy. And I'm saying that because a lot of times we are comparing our lives to others, people that we know, people that we don't know, people that we are in communication with on social media, and especially celebrities. Get out of that mindset that because what a person is saying and doing and posting is, all glorious, and a lot of times it's not. And I wanted to just briefly discuss a situation where this topic pertains to me specifically. A lot of my friends are, they have families and they're married and they are, in long-term relationships and things like that. One of my friends that I grew up with, we always talk about, just life things, where we are in our lives and all of that. And she would always complain about her husband and her kids and things like that. And I would just listen and try to, I'm the type to listen, but I don't really respond or react unless you ask me to. So unless you ask me for my opinion or thoughts on a situation that you're talking to me about, then most of the time I'll keep shut and keep my comments to myself. And I understand sometimes people just want to vent, but if you're looking for a reaction or a response or some advice, then of course I'll speak up and give my opinion of things. And she would always mainly complain about her marriage. And I used to tell her how lucky she was to even have a family. I think I've spoken a little bit about, not really being too close to anybody. My family not really being close at all. And we don't even, we're close to each other in terms of location and things like that. So when she would say things to me like that and just complain about things that seem so small and so fixable, I would tell her when she asks, of course, let me continue to repeat that. I would say I feel like you're lucky to even have a family and to have a husband and to have a person to do life with. There are many people who would, switch roles with you and not necessarily say appreciate what you have that you're not appreciating, but understand that a family and a husband and, people to come home to is a gift. Not really a gift. People to come home to is a pleasure, and she would say, I wish I was single. I just wish I could do things over and all of that. And it's well, if that's the way you feel, then you can correct that. And then I used to find myself once the conversation was over or, we moved on to something else or she would leave and I would just be in my own space. How could someone be so unhappy when they seem to have it all, And then when you tie in social media into it, it's the world would assume, the social media world would assume that everything is roses, like the relationship was amazing. And people really like be out here putting on a show or a front, but inside, like within themselves and within their households, they are really unhappy and struggling and wishing that their situation was different than it is. And that's when I really had to start to talk to myself, like, why are you comparing your loneliness or singleness or living situation to hers when she doesn't even want what she has, And it really made me think, it really made me realize that it's not my time and it's not my situation. And hopefully that when that time comes for me, I won't ever feel the way that she was feeling at that point. Hopefully that makes sense. And sometimes I think like, okay, well, the universe is holding out for something special and a situation that's going to be special. So that way I don't have to get to that point where I'm feeling like I'm unhappy within my household or feeling unhappy within a marriage or a relationship and aren't doing anything to get out of it. So that's when and this was a couple years ago. We're talking maybe 4 years ago. And that's when I really started to think like you have to chill on worrying about why this person has this and you don't, or why this person is more successful at this and you're not, because it's not for me. And I had to realize that my time will come when it is supposed to come. And just another example, I have a friend who cooks very well. And he does his thing with the cooking. I do my thing with the cooking. And he would always say to me like, oh, let's do a cook-off. Let's do a cook-off. And I say, I don't compete to compare with my friends. Like, if I'm making what I like to make and presenting it to people, and you're making what you like to make and presenting it to the same people, that whichever dish that they choose that they like better does not make you a better cook than me or me a better cook than you. That person could have just been in the mood for something that I had on my plate that day and vice versa. So I used to have to say like, why is everything a competition? You're in your lane doing your thing. I'm in my lane doing my thing. And that's just what it is. Now, if you wanted to collab and like do a segment together, then that's different. But stop asking me to compete with you. Like, stop forcing me to do something that I don't want to do and I don't need to do. I don't get anything out of that. And eventually he stopped asking and he kind of let it go. But it's like, why would you even want to compete with your friends? I don't really see the point of that. And then tying all of that into the whole topic of just not doing it at all. Stop looking at these celebrities' lives and what they have and all of that, thinking that, you deserve that, or why don't you have that, or why isn't your situation different? In reality, they're hurting, they're struggling, they're suffering, they're fighting those demons. They just don't choose to show that to us. I don't follow many celebrities, but I'll include myself in it. They show us what they want us to see. And they don't show the struggle, and they don't show, the lonely days and the sadness and all of the things that go on behind closed doors, because it's not reality that this person's life is that amazing, and that everything is perfect. So if anything else, the message was to just stop competing and know that comparison is the thief of joy. If you continue to compare your life to someone else's, whether it be an envy, friends, relatives, celebrities, you will find yourself miserable. And just give it a try. Even take a week off of social media and just see how much better you feel. Especially if you're someone who has to run to the internet for entertainment and for purpose all of the time. But I just wanted to come on here with a quick little message. That was my word for the week. And as always, thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to shop the Teespring shop. Get yourself some Tall Girl Tuesday merch. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Tall Girl Tuesday. And on YouTube, Tall Girl Tuesday, the podcast. And don't forget, you can always email me in some questions, some comments, concerns, topics at tgtthepodcast@gmail.com. And as always,